Hi everyone, I am Neetu Lakshmi. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Political Science, Sri Narayana College, Kollam. Today, we are going to discuss about sovereignty, its meaning, definitions, characteristics, and types. Sovereignty is an essential element of the state. We know that state has four elements, that is population, territory, government, and sovereignty. Among these four elements, sovereignty is of high priority. That is, no place can become a state without sovereignty. For example, we can take India before 1947. Before 1947, we cannot claim India as a sovereign state. India had territory that time, India had a population, India had a government, but India was not a state. Why? That's because there was a lack of sovereign power. That is, the rule was not done by us, it was a colony of Britain. So, it is sovereignty is an essential feature of the state. Now, we can come to the source of the word sovereignty. That is, it is derived from a Latin word superanus. A Latin word superanus. It means supreme. Now, what sort of supremacy? Supremacy or supreme power of the state. Sovereignty means the supremacy or supreme power of the state. And when we are saying it is supreme, it is not supreme in every manner. It is not supreme in every manner. That is actually a legal concept. Sovereignty, we can say it is a legal concept. That is, when we are saying it is a legal concept, it is a legal power. It is a legal authority. Actually, a sovereign power cannot claim our sociological supremacy or moral supremacy. Nothing. It is actually a legal concept. That is able to declare law, commands, and political decisions. Sovereignty is a republic's absolute and perpetual power. Now we are looking into some definitions that is given by some political thinkers. I have given uh, two. I have given two definitions of Jean Bodin. That is, first one is sovereignty is a republic's absolute and perpetual power. Sovereignty is a republic's absolute and perpetual power. Perpetual means there is no expiry for for the sovereign power. Expiry means a government is there. For instance, if we are taking India, India is a sovereign state, and who is handling this sovereign authority, the supreme authority? The government is handling the supreme authority, but after 5 years, the government changes. But do you think the sovereign power is going along with the government? No, it doesn't has a expiry date. Even though the government changes or even though the ruler changes, the sovereign power continue, the sovereignty of the state continue in the same position. And the third one, you just look into the third one. Again, it was Bodin. Sovereignty is the supreme power of the state over citizens and subjects unrestrained by law. The word there, we have to focus on the word unrestrained by law. നിയമം കൊണ്ട് തടസ്സമില്ലാത്ത, ഒരു നിയമത്തിനും ചോദ്യം ചെയ്യാനാകാത്ത തരത്തിലുള്ള സുപ്രീം പവറാണ് എന്തെന്നാ പറയുന്നത്? സോവറിറ്റി. Now we are looking into the second one. Sovereignty is the daily operative power of framing and giving efficacy to the laws. That is, giving efficiency to the laws. This definition was given by Woodrow Wilson. And the fourth one, it was given by Hugo Grotius. Sovereignty is the sovereign political power vested in him whose acts are not subject to any other and whose will cannot be overridden. A sovereign power's will cannot be overridden by any authority. No authority can question the sovereign power of a state. Now, we can look into the two aspects of sovereignty. When we say a particular state has sovereignty, we can divide it into two. That is, രണ്ട് തരത്തിലൊരു സോവറിറ്റി പരമാധികാരം നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ സാധിക്കും. ഒന്നെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് it is internal sovereignty and the other one is external sovereignty. Internal sovereignty means the supremacy over the individuals, groups and territory. Internal sovereignty ആഭ്യന്തര കാര്യങ്ങളിലുള്ള സോവറിറ്റി പരമാധികാരം, രാഷ്ട്രത്തിന്റെ ടെറിട്ടറിക്കകത്തുള്ള എന്തിനു മേലെയുമുള്ള ഏറ്റവും എപ്പിറ്റോമായിട്ടുള്ള അധികാരം ആരിൽ നിക്ഷിപ്തമാണെന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്? രാഷ്ട്രത്തിൽ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ പറയുന്ന സോവറിൻ പവറിൽ നിക്ഷിപ്തമായിരിക്കും. ആൻഡ് ഓൺ ദ അതർ ഹാൻഡ് external sovereignty. External sovereignty means it is independent from the control or interactions from other states or agencies. It is independent from other states and other agencies like any associations. If a colony doesn't have the status of a state because it lacks sovereignty. Now we are looking into the features of sovereignty. What are the features of sovereignty? First one is permanence. We have already said it. That is, even though the government changes, even though the ruler changes, the sovereignty is absolute or permanent. It cannot be changed. It cannot be altered. And exclusiveness. Second one is exclusiveness. There can be only one sovereign. We cannot have many sovereigns in a country or many sovereign institutions in a country. It can be only one. And the third one is all comprehensiveness. Authority of the state must extend to all persons and association within the territory. No association is above the sovereign power. No individual is above the sovereign power. Sovereign power means it is a authority over the individuals as well as associations that is settled within the territory. Now, indivisible. It is not divisible. It cannot be divided. A sovereignty, a little part will be given to others, or not like that. It cannot be divided. And absoluteness. It is not limited. The absoluteness, sometimes it went through a lot of criticisms because it is not limited. Absolute power, a sovereignty of a state is absolute, means it is limitless. But it is a characteristic of sovereignty, that is this absolute. Now we are looking into the types of sovereignty. Many kinds we can see types of sovereignty. First one, de jure sovereignty. De jure sovereignty. De jure sovereignty, a legal sovereign may not exercise actual control over a territory occupied by a de facto sovereign. What it says, it is a legal sovereign but may not exercise actual control over the territory occupied by a de facto sovereign. എന്താ പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നത്? ഒരു legal sovereign ആണ്, പക്ഷേ he cannot exercise his power. The powers are actually carried out by a de facto sovereign, like Indian president. When we are looking into the position of Indian president, we can see Indian president is the first man of our state. He is the first citizen of our state, and everything is happening through him. Constitutionally, he is the head of the state. But in the actual practice, what we can say is he is the head of the state in constitution or in documents only. who is actually handling the power? It is none other than the Prime Minister. So, who is legally President of India is equipped with the sovereign power, but actually the power is carried out by another person, the Prime Minister. So the first one is known as de jure sovereignty. He is the legal sovereign, but he cannot exercise the power. Some others will exercise this power. So such kind of sovereign is known as de jure sovereign. And de facto sovereign, the same. Sometimes the legal sovereign may not be displaced, may be displaced, and some others will exercise the sovereign power without legal basis. What we have said when we said about de jure sovereign, we said he is legal power, but here he is not legal, but he is exercising the power. Getting it? Can you follow me? De jure sovereign is legally bound with the sovereign power, but he doesn't have the power to exercise it. But de facto sovereign, he's not the legal authority, but he exercises the sovereign power. Such sovereigns are known as de facto sovereign. The next one is titular sovereign. Titular sovereign, titular in the title, titular. The word itself says in the title he is the sovereign. That is a king or a queen who has no real powers but symbolizes the sovereign power. In Britain, we can see everything is carried out in the name of the king or queen. Actually, he symbolizes or she symbolizes the sovereign power, but the sovereign power is not carried out by this particular person. Such sovereigns are known as titular sovereign. Now, next one is legal sovereign. Legal sovereign, the sovereign whom the law recognizes as sovereign. ആരെയാണോ നിയമം സോവറിനായിട്ട് ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്നത്, അത്തരം സോവറിനുകളെ, അത്തരം പരമാധികാര ശക്തികളെ നമ്മൾ ലീഗൽ സോവറിൻ എന്ന് വിളിക്കുന്നു. Now, political sovereign, the sovereignty lies behind the legal sovereign. The sovereignty lies behind the legal sovereign. That means in every country there is a legal sovereign, but some others will be behind the curtain that control the or that made the legal sovereign. That is normally an electorate. We can say an electorate. There is a legal sovereign, but somebody else created the legal sovereign, and this usually are the electorate who vote for them, and this is known as political sovereign and popular sovereignty. Popular sovereignty, actually it was a concept emerged by contributed by Rousseau. In popular sovereignty, public is regarded as supreme. Public, the people are regarded as supreme. So this is about the meaning, definitions, types, characteristics of sovereignty. We have to handle with the theories too, that I'll make another slide and I'll come to you. And if you have any doubt on this, I'm actually focusing on the points that is making your exams easy. I'm not going very deep. I'm just focusing on the major points so that you can write it easily. So you go through all these things, and if you have any doubts, don't hesitate to ask. I'm ready to give the explanations for all these things. Thank you.